Hello everyone. Today we're going to be ranking Amazing Race Final Threes. Now we go to season what? This is in the 20s. Bates and Anthony won 22, I believe, or maybe 23. For me, the Amazing Race in the 20s. I think the new school started season 19, and this era has not been the best. It's been probably the worst Amazing Race era. Obviously the best is 1 through 11 old school. Then you have 12 through 18, which is middle school, which, I wouldn't call it bad, because I think there are good seasons, but it just blends together a little bit, and the casting isn't as solid. And then the new school, where we do get some good seasons, but really we get a lot of bad ones too. So this is just in the middle of that new school era, and none of these teams are very memorable in my eyes, and I think it's the worst Final Three. We have season 27 now. We have Kelsey and Joey, Justin and Diana, Team Green, Logan and Chris. It's just new school cast. Wasn't as good. Wasn't invested in the teams. We have another 20s season. Jason and Amy, probably the most forgettable winners. Tim and Marie, or maybe this is season 19, I don't know. But new school is very forgettable. Jason and Amy, Tim and Marie, I do kind of remember Tim and Marie. And Nicole and Travis, I kind of remember, but unremarkable. Now we have everyone's favorite season. Let me zoom out a bit. Season 8, which one of the worst seasons of reality television ever. But this Final Three, probably the three best families. I can't believe we're talking about. Okay, there's 12 people in this Final Three. There's usually half that many, and usually the three best teams don't make it there. This time, Lynn's family, we're fine. Branson family, they're all fine. So, but it's season 8. Now we got our first middle school season, and this is season 15, I believe. Megan and Shane, Sam and Dan, Brian and Eric. Megan and Shane were fine. A lot of the middle school winners aren't very interesting. Usually the interesting team does not win. And that is a problem with Amazing Race, kind of, but that's also just the way it works out. Yeah, and I would have preferred the Globetrotters, but whatever. Megan and Shane. None of these people are too remarkable. Now we have new school season. Ernie and Cindy, another forgettable winners for me, even though this is a pretty recent season. Jeremy and Sandy, Amani and Marcus. Just this Final Three isn't too remarkable. Just in that tier. Now we have season 16. Pretty forgettable season. Dan and Jordan. What do you remember about Dan and Jordan? You do not remember anything about Dan and Jordan. But what I do remember is Jet and Corey. Now we're getting into the tier where you could root for one of the teams. In the ones before, it's like, who cares, whatever. But this one, Jet and Cord, move it higher. Brent and Kate, I barely remember what they were like. I just remember they exist. And Dan and Jordan, pretty unremarkable winners. Now we got season 6. Can't say there wasn't drama. Can't say there wasn't some entertainment, even if it was a bit trashy for Amazing Race. It's supposed to be some wholesome family show. Freddie and Kendra winning is pretty bad. Chris and John, breath of fresh air. They're the nice team. Adam and Rebecca kind of crazy. There is drama, but it is kind of like the unlikable team just getting to the end. I don't know. Season 4, put a little ahead of them because I feel like they're more likable teams. Like, I didn't hate Riken and Chip, Kelly, John, or David and Jeff. I was rooting for Kelly and John out of these. But overall, pretty unremarkable, like most who have gone through. Season 10, Tyler and James, Rob and Kimberly, Lynn and Carolyn. I was rooting for Dustin and Candace make it to the end, they would the season later. So, I guess I have nothing to complain about. But it's the Tyler James, the two white guys. That's people say, "Oh, you're a hypocrite. All the old school seasons just have the two white guy winnings." Well, that's 3 seasons. Well, no, that's 4. Okay, maybe there is too many, but I'm not talking about BJ and Tyler. I'm talking about like the models, like the season 1, season 2, season 4, season 10, stuff like that. And none of these teams were, I would say, the best, but there was some entertainment. Now we have All Stars 2. This moves hot. Most people would have this at the bottom. I think there is at least there's tension between the teams. I'm a big Brenchel fan because I'm a fan of Big Brother. And when a Big Brother team goes on another show, I automatically root for them over other teams that I, don't. For me, it goes Survivor, Big Brother, Amazing Race. So that would be. I was rooting for Brenchel to win. They got third again, and Dave and Connor won, which is, ugh. Caroline and Jennifer were fine. I didn't really want them to make it this far. Dave and Connor didn't even want to be on the season, but there were tension from that one U-turn. Now we have season 28, the social media season, the influencers, which, I don't know. I'm a Tyler and Corey fan. I liked them in their original run and their second run. Sherry and Cole were fine, and Dana and Matt were good too, in terms of entertainment, but no one they all felt kind of fake, which is, I guess, just part of being an influencer, but I don't know. We need old school. Now we have season 13. Nick and Star were fine, actually, for TV. I mean, they weren't the best. Ken and Tina were good. And Andrew and Dan, hilarious. I don't know how they made it to the final 3. But overall, this is good. And these are the acceptable tiers. I mean, these are the good tiers. We passed acceptable. Josh and Brent. Probably the most surprising winners. James and James, Chippendales, great. TV, great team. I was rooting for them to win it. Train Lexi, good, but if the 20s made it into the finale, that would be a really good final 3. But whatever. 26, not a great season. Final 3 is not bad. Haley and Blair, of course, classic team. Jelani and Jenny, I don't remember too much about them. I remember Lauren Tyler, though. They were fine. Nothing too exciting. Season 30. I did like Cody and Jessica on Amazing Race. I thought they were fine. Henry and Evan were fine. And Christy and Jen were good, too. So, none of the teams were amazing, but none of the teams were bad either. Now we got the latest season that just happened. Will and James, Hung and Chi, Riley Madison. I was rooting for Hung and Chi because Will and James were kind of annoying at points. Woo! The roadblock! And then the Riley Madison, we have beards. That's the only thing we have. But Hung and Chi, I felt like, are more a relatable team. They had a lot of good moments, too. So, kind of sucked. But, I would say these are the 3. No. I would say the 3 most memorable teams, Will and James. I would say Hung and Chi, and then D'Angelo and Gary, with Riley and Madison at 4. But, yeah, pretty solid. Now we have another solid one, season 12. We have TK and Rachel, which are pretty good winners. The first, of the middle school era, per se. Ron and Christina, great TV. I was really rooting for them to win. And I like their run Unfinished Business, too. I think they're just very entertaining. I would like to see them race again. A lot of people don't like three-peaters. I don't know how Amazing Race is doing in viewership, but maybe they're going to have to start bringing back players. And I wouldn't mind Ron and Christina. How old is Ron now? I don't know. It wasn't that long ago they did Unfinished Business. Nicholas and Donald are good, too, so. Now we have unfinished business where, we do. This isn't the final three everyone wanted. Except for the Globetrotters, I was rooting for them the entire time to win. I was pretty upset when they came in second. I was like, Keish and Jen, really? The Bathroom Sisters? Gary and Mallory, fine. I didn't want them to get all the way to top three, though. And Keish and Jen, fine TV. I like them better their first time around, though, so I don't know. Now we have season 25, where we have, I think, three memorable teams. Amy and Maya, obviously, such a come-from-behind win. And very big underdogs. Missing Jim, the villains of the season. I think Jim died. I don't know. I think that's what I heard. And then Adam and Bethany, the Soul Surfers, obviously. Very inspirational to, not to me, inspired me to do nothing. I don't have one arm. But to all the one-armed people out there. Now we have season 29, and a lot of these top seasons, if you've watched my seasons ranking video, a good final three correlates with a good season, because all the good teams make it far. That's how it works. So we have Brooke and Scott, iconic winners, great, best of the new school era. Tara and Joey were good too, and Team Lolo won the Logan, fine. But it really is the Brooke and Scott show, even though it is poor man's Flo and Zach. They are fine. They are great. For new school standards, well, I shouldn't say best winners, but that's just foreshadowing for my winner rankings. Now we have season 2. Let me zoom out. I just rewatched season 2 recently, and it is a great season. And Chris and Alex and Tara and Will really have a good dynamic. Tara and Will, by the end, it's just insanity. They can't stand each other. Blake and Paige were kind of like team incest. They're like getting kind of grabby with each other, brother and sister. Eesh. That's how they do it down in Texas. But I don't know, kind of annoying too. But pretty strong competitors for the most part. Sometimes they would be too much in the race, and they would make a mistake. And when determining like the best team, you have to take that into consideration. A lot of it's luck. But if you don't have amazing luck, then a lot of times you're going to make a mistake. And, that's why you can't just be brawn. You got to have brains too, so you know the best way to do it. But yeah, I would say, the ending foot race between these two, I'm not really ranking like the actual placements. I'm more ranking just the people in it, but great. Now we have season 2, which is another one, kind of like this, where it's just between the two teams that really elevate it. And Chen and Joyce and Rob and Amber have a rivalry that goes on the whole season. A lot of people were rooting for Chen and Joyce, producers included. I was rooting for Rob and Amber. Remember my hierarchy of CBS shows? Survivor, Big Brother, Amazing Race. Which is actually a bit ironic, because it's probably flipped for season 31, where they actually had all the shows, because the Survivor cast were probably the weakest they could cast. Although I did like Corinne and Eliza, Rupert and Laura. I don't know why they brought the Millennial versus Gen X people in. They couldn't get Survivor know-it-alls. But I was really rooting for Colin and Christy the entire time. My favorite team comes back for one last shot. I couldn't believe it. They win? Oh my god. So it does kind of reverse. I was rooting for them. I always liked Rachel and Alyssa. I didn't like really Nicole and Corey. They were underdogs. But when you're rooting for the team, the dominant team, you don't really care for the underdogs. So it was kind of reverse. But yeah, Rob and Amber, wish they would have won, but they had a great rivalry with Chen and Joyce. And Ron Killer fine too. Now we have season 20. Great season of the show. For a new school season, especially. We have Rachel and Dave, Art and JJ, Brennan and Rachel. Now, I like all these teams. Rachel and Dave, obviously, the most dominant winners ever. Are they the best character-wise? No, but I wouldn't say they're the worst either. I'd say they're in the middle, or maybe above the middle. But Brendan and Rachel, constant drama, constant entertainment, doesn't matter what season they're on. I mean, Brenchel has been on 2 seasons of Big Brother, 2 seasons of The Amazing Race. Each time they have provided great TV, So that's why they're probably my favorite showmans ever. If you really think about it, I mean, Rob and Amber have been in 4 seasons together, 2 on Survivor, 2 of Amazing Race. But Brenchel has had longer runs on The Amazing Race in their second time, so we see more than there. I don't know. But I would say Brendan and Rachel are probably my favorite showmans. Who knew? I just figured that out right now. But, yeah, overall, great Final 3. Now we have, maybe too high, but we have All-Stars, where 2 of the teams, Dustin, Candace, Charlotte, and Myrna, are legends. Legends of the show. Eric and Danielle win. No one likes that, but I'm not gonna. That's not a unique opinion. No one thought they should win. But Dustin and Candace, best female team of all time. Charlotte and Myrna, second best. I mean, there's no. I mean, maybe I wouldn't say Chen and Joyce are even legends. Really, I'm like maybe like B tier legends. Rob and Amber, I think, are because they added a layer of strategy to the game that we haven't really seen, especially Rob, not really Amber. But I mean, Rachel and Dave are kind of legends in terms of just their dominant win. And I think Brenchel are legends. But I mean, what other ones do we have? 2 legendary teams? None. None. So, in coming into the season, it is returning player season, I was rooting for both of them, and they both got into the final 3. I mean, anyone from the final 8 I would have preferred would have been a strong winner over this team. Look at that final 8. It is stacked. Dustin and Candace, Cheryl and Myrna, Oswald and Danny, Chen and Joyce, Team Guido, Terry and Ian, and more too. And any of them kind of won. But of course, Eric and Danielle had to win, who weren't even a team on Amazing Race 9. So, stupid winners. But final 3, look at those teams. Legends. Now we go to season 17, where we have Nat and Kat, first female winners, which was a pretty big moment. Brooke and Claire, legends, all-time great team. Jill and Thomas, fine. But really, I did like Nat and Kat a lot, and I like Brooke and Claire a lot more. Actually, I was rooting for them to win. I think everyone was. But we got Nat and Kat, who were good too. Whoa. Now, we come to season 1. Robin Brennan, the attorneys, while not the most entertaining team, were definitely a strong team. I think they were the best team when Frank and Margarita. Well, Frank and Margarita were a great team too, and they had probably the most interesting dynamic. Joe and Bill were so hard behind. Team Guido, such an iconic team though. I love Team Guido, and I love Frank and Margarita, and I like the attorneys too. They're good guys. I mean, nothing exciting, but these 2 teams are exciting, so that's why it's here. Now we have season 9, where Ray and Yolanda, I don't know, they're fine. But the story of season 9 is between the most entertaining team of all time, BJ and Tyler, the Hippies. Greatest winners ever. Well, kind of. And we have their intense rivalry. Probably one of the best in Amazing Race history, with Eric and Jeremy, where it's just, okay, Hippies first. Eric and Jeremy first. And they just keep switching off. And then there's like non-elimination leg where the Hippies are out for the count, and it's just close the entire time. You gotta love it. Great season. Now we come to, just this final three. Three teams who, you have three legendary teams here. Tyler and Corey, probably the least legendary of them, but still pretty legendary. One of the most winningest teams ever. But come on, Colin and Christie. I thought they were the greatest. I thought they were the greatest team ever before they came back and won. Well, no, I thought they were one of the best ever. But then they came back. They proved to be the best Amazing Race team of all time. 15 years later or more, the best, most entertaining team from the best season of the show, one of the best in reality television history, comes back and wins it. Awesome. Tyler and Corey had a great run in Amazing Race 28. Everyone was rooting for them to win. Come back, place second, higher than they did last time. You can't say they didn't improve. Leo and Jamal. A lot of people don't like three-peaters, but the Afghanimals. Well, a lot of the three-peaters go down every time they play. Look at the Globetrotters. First time around is their best run. Unfinished Business. I'm talking in terms of entertainment and why they're actually there. Unfinished Business. I think they're still good in Unfinished Business. Some people don't, but they come in second, and it's their chance to win is kind of over. Come back at All Stars, and they're kind of like, what are we doing here? But same with Marty and Luke, but not the same with the Afghanimals, who I think still bring it in Amazing Race 31. So, and they finally didn't they get fourth place twice, and then I think they finally improved. So, whatever. Now we go to, I believe this is number 2, Amazing Race 5. Iconic season, the best season of the show. Chip and Kim, Colin and Christie, Brandon and Nicole. 3 great teams. Chip and Kim, one of the best character teams. Colin and Christie, as I've said, my favorites. Then Brandon and Nicole, another pretty good team. Pretty great team. And, it's Amazing Race 5. Now we come to number 2. Which I think, season 14 casts, and a lot of the middle school casts aren't the greatest, but they have some standouts. And in this season, I think all the three biggest standouts got to the end. And that's more than you could say about a lot of the other ones, where the 3 biggest teams get to the end. Tammy and Victor, I thought, were great winners, great characters too, and had a great dynamic. Jamie and Cara, I thought, were entertaining and fun. And one of the most memorable from the season, and they did come back. Margie and Luke's first run was their best. And, I was starting to get annoyed at them by the end of this season. And now they come back twice? It's like, just go away. We get it. You're deaf. But it was pretty inspirational. Not for me, though. I have 2 arms. I could hear. I'm above average height. So, yeah. But great final 3. But the best is, come on. This is 3 all-time great teams getting to the end. And in the perfect order, too. Flo and Zach, legends. As winners, completely break what people thought Amazing Race winners were. The 2 muscular male guys. Then we have Flo and Zach. Flo, every second on the urge of quitting, breaking down, melting down. Zach, the absolute opposite. It's like yin and yang. Tyranny and constant entertainment. Constant bickering. Constant great TV. And then kind of Gerard. One of the funniest teams ever. One of the greatest teams ever. All 3 of these teams are probably top 20 teams ever. And they all, the 3 best teams make it to the final 3. That's something you could rarely ask for. And makes season 3 what it is. And that's the best we got.